Before we get on to special relativity with things like time dilation and length contraction, we need to think about how relative velocities work. So if I was to ask you how fast is just normal walking pace, it's about, let's say, 2 meters per second. So if you go for a walk, you're going at 2 meters per second. Well, it's not that easy. Because the Earth is actually rotating, say if you're on the equator of the Earth and you're walking at 2 meters per second, the radius of the Earth is 6,371 kilometers, and it goes around once every 24 hours. So really, somebody on the equator is actually going around a very large circle, as you're going to find out quite quickly. Just press the pause button on the video, and then get your calculator out and calculate d equals 2 pi r for the distance that you travel, and use t in seconds and do speed as distance over time. Okay, so just do that at the moment, and then we'll move on to the next slide. Okay, so you should have got something like that kind of number there. Depends, there's reasons why it might not be quite similar to that, but that's what you should have. So you've got us going around the Earth, so that 2 meters per second is actually either 467 or 463, depending on whether you're walking with the rotation of the Earth or you're walking against the rotation of the Earth. It's not that simple either, because the Sun is at the center of our solar system and the Earth is obviously one of the planets that's going round. The radius of that is 1.49 times 10 to the power 8 kilometers, and it's doing it once every year. Same calculation. Distance travelled, circumference of the circle, 2 pi r, again converting your kilometers to meters, and the time you'd need a year in seconds. So press pause, just try that there now. So how do you get on? That's roughly what we've got there, 30,000 kilometers per second. Surely that's it. But, well, do you know what? The Sun is actually on the outer spiral arm of the galaxy, and therefore it is traveling around the galaxy, and so we're actually traveling at 2.2 times 10 to the power 5 meters per second. So that's 220,000 meters per second. So if you're ever out for a walk with somebody and they say, can you hurry up? Say, look, I am doing 220,000 meters per second. That's how fast you're actually traveling. So Galileo, way back in history, worked out that, had this idea that all laws of physics should be the same in these what are called inertial frames of reference. So what's happening to you on Earth is a frame of reference. However, the Earth in the solar system is another frame of reference. The solar system in the galaxy is another frame of reference. An inertial frame of reference is one that it replicates what's happening at constant speed. If you go on to advanced higher next year with general relativity, you'll find about non-inertial frames of reference in space-time, but whoa, we're definitely not doing that today. So if you imagine yourself just in a bus, constant speed, you could play a game of badminton in that bus, you could throw a ball to somebody. All the laws of physics that you experience stationary will work even though you're traveling at steady speed. And if you were to wake up in a lift that somebody had kindly put you in when you were asleep, which is blacked out, so you can't see it's outside, and the lift is very quiet and moves very smoothly, you wouldn't know whether it's stationary, going upwards or downwards at constant speed. All the laws of physics, your weight, projectile motion, all that sort of thing would work in just the same way. So in terms of special relativity, we need to know about relative velocities. And the easiest way to do relative velocities is with velocity vector arrows, as you know from National 5. So if you take the example of a train travelling at 20 meters per second, and a passenger then runs through the carriage at 5 meters per second towards the front of the train, if you've got an observer standing on the platform, how fast would they think that person's running? So for the first part there, you've got the speed of the train there, 20 meters per second. That's the speed of the runner, and you add that head to tail, just like we've done before, and then you end up with 25 meters per second as the overall velocity, because the 5 meters per second is in a frame of reference which is also traveling at 20 meters per second. If the runner was running towards the back of the train, you'd have 20 meters per second, but this time 5 meters per second against that. So again, add those head to tail, you end up with 15 meters per second. Okay, we'll come back to this in a moment there, but firstly, can you do activity 7A, questions 1 to 4? I know it says 8 on the, sorry, questions 1 to 3. I know it says 1 to 8 on the slide, but it's questions 1 to 3 to start off with.